In this episode of Moi TV, I'm looking at social media personal branding tips, specifically telling your story with captions and pictures. And that's right, I've dressed up today as the artist emoji because novelty factor. If you know that your social media is a little bit lacking in curation and creativity around your personal brand, then stick around to the end of this episode. So we're going to be looking at the pyramid concept when it comes to the way that you create content, and I'm going to put in some extra little corresponding tips and pointers for you to make sure that you can create content much easier. This is exactly how I do things in my business, so feel free to take inspiration and go ahead and copy it for yourself. So let's begin with the concept first of all. Now, the minute I implemented this in my own business, I slept easier, and I found it's been so much easier to maintain the level of creativity that I use in all of my content and the way that I put it out on social media. So like I hinted before, the easiest way to think about this is to think about a pyramid. Okay, so at the top of the pyramid, we've got Moi TV. So the majority of my content creation efforts go into the design, research, filming, creating, and editing of this show. I then repurpose this episode out twice to my social media channels within the first week of the episode being live. We do also repurpose, especially if we're doing like annual follow-ups, things like that. But it's important to know what we're doing at the beginning. Next down in the importance on my pyramid is Instagram. So this is why I share my hanger to Instagram at the top of all of my episodes. I really do genuinely enjoy Instagram, and I spend most of my real time on there. This is where I feel I can be the most creative, and I love playing around within the boundaries of Instagram. So at the bottom of the pyramid then, this is where I put all of my evergreen content. So this could be around seasonal promotions. It could be to do with certain campaigns that we have going on in the business, things like lead magnets. And as they are always informed by sales, I tackle every single new campaign that I create as if it were evergreen content. And this means that we can plan it way out in advance. So sometimes that's 6 months, sometimes that's a quarter, and I'm now trying to get to the point where it's a year ahead. A great episode to watch about why I decided to start creating content in this more weighted, narrowed down way is over on Andrew and Pete's channel. So they talk about their 90-10 rule, which you can go and see details of here. Make sure you stick around to the episode before you click on through. And this massively changed things for me. Basically, they're getting real. Omnipresence across social media is probably a great idea if you're a large business with a whole department filled of people who can work on each platform. But when you're a small business owner, your time is extremely limited. You've got to do everything else in your business all the time. So paring back the way that you do your social media has made such a change for me, and I know it can make a change for you as well. Let's move in then to getting creative. By this, I mean getting creative with pictures and captions across my feed. You will have seen me talk about my 5 themes that I use to really round out my personal brand. There's a link to that up here now for you. And this is a way that I creatively inform all of my social media. So I use this for friendly, simple call to action posts as well as more business related call to action posts. And the key around this is to be continually telling your story. And if you're working with a 5 themes approach, you want to be continually finding new storylines about each of the 5 themes that you've selected. A great example of this is using selfies in my own social media feed. So I am passionate, you should know this by now if you've been on a few of my episodes, I am passionate about brand photography. And I'm also passionate about business owners documenting their journey through selfies and DIY phone photography, as well as hiring a great professional to help them with their visuals. So it's important then, because I'm so passionate about that, that I also reflect that in my social media. So we have a rule at Perry HQ that 1 in 9 on the Instagram tile should be an image of me that's been taken professionally or a selfie. If selfies is something that you're struggling with, you probably want to go and take a look at this episode of Moi TV, where I talk about how I batch create my own selfies to make my life when it comes to scheduling social media so much easier. Now, if you just rolled your eyes there and the thought of creating any selfies on your business social media profiles sent you into a little bit of a spin or a panic, then I personally invite you to come and take part in my Love Your Selfie 5-day challenge. This is a great way for you to just get out of your head, get over yourself, and actually implement some really effective photography skills on your mobile phone. You just need to go to www.laurapearman.com/love-ya-selfie-challenge. I am looking forward to seeing you sign up. And there is a link to that below in the show notes. So you've got the pictures, let's get into the caption side of things. Coming up with really fresh angles on the way that you're using your copy in your social media posts is a great way to maintain engagement. So I'm not really interested about how many millions of followers you've got. I want to see how many people are engaging with what you're posting. And if you've had a spike in your followers and you're worried about trying to get your engagement back up as well, using great crafted copy in your captions is a great way to begin doing this. I find that the more personal I am, and usually the more silly I am with the way that I craft captions, the more my engagement goes up. So for me, this means being vulnerable about silly little things that happen in my life, and also being a lot more vulnerable about things that are scaring me or things that I'm finding really tough in my life and my business. Regardless, though, of how personal and vulnerable the caption is, I will always make sure there is one kind of a call to action at the end. This can be from an easy breezy, give me a quick like or give me a double tap if you agree or disagree, to why don't you vote on this with an emoji below in the comments, or tag a friend or share this with a friend who's going through this right now, to something a little bit more high commitment where you're asking people to take the time to write a comment or make that massive long journey to the link in your bio. Now, keeping both of these things constantly mixed up, so I'm talking about different emotions within your copy and different types of call to action, is a great way to kind of get around going into the boring, dull, same old sale, like go on the link, go on the link, go on the link, or give me a like, give me a like. You want to mix it up. You want to keep things so that people are guessing about what you're going to post about next. I've been your host, Laura Pearman. It has been such a pleasure to have a chat with you today. Now, if you've enjoyed learning how to make your social media a little bit better when it comes to creativity today, then you are absolutely gonna love these episodes here. This is me talking about how to enhance your personal brand in new ways within your business. Mwah.
Now, before you go anywhere, don't forget to subscribe. Mwah.